Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the
Hello,
PGA
everyone.
Tour.
40 Pro here. Watch my tournament.
Frank, great golf course and great man behind it.
Oh, it certainly is. Anytime you get a chance to play the King's Golf Course in Arnold Palmer, that is a pleasure. Hosted the Arnold Palmer Invitational for so many years now and always produces a worthy champion.
Arnold Palmer bought it in the 1970s. Through the years, Frank, it wasn't unusual to see Arnold roaming the grounds, hitting golf balls, playing in that regular game. They call it the shootout. He's still pretty competitive.
No, he is, that's for sure. Yeah, he'll sneak out there, do a little bit of practice beforehand. He does not like to hand over his $20 note.
It's a tough golf course, Frank, with a really exciting finishing stretch.
There's enough water there to tempt the faintest of hearts, that's for sure, and also steal a dozen or so golf balls.
And it's been the scene of some really incredible moments. I think back to Robert Gomez as a rookie holding out with a 7-iron on the final hole to beat Greg Norman.
Yeah, Matt Every won in 2014. Of course, Tiger Woods has literally owned this golf course, winning 8 times. And, of course, the last of which was in 2013.
250. Carry.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot, he is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Now the approach here at number 1, Frank, what's he looking at?
A nice high, soft landing second shot would be ideal here. There's a little bit of a ridge in this green. Don't really want to be going long here. Those 2 bunkers, never easy coming out of those and downhill.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
This one has a good line.
Good line, it's in.
That is a cross-country putt right there.
Up and over the ridge. That's a seagull.
Back to the second hole here at Bay Hill. Frank, long par 3.
And that green slopes so much from right to left, so you can actually use the contours of the green here.
20 to carry.
So on the putting surface and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
Shouldn't be a problem here. And he makes it for par. Frank, now to the third hole, and where's the trouble here? That's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one thing you don't want to remind yourself of. There's a bunker all the way down the right side. That's a good place to aim.
Let the wind take it.
Oh, I liked that.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Frank, this is one of my favorite shots on the course here at Bay Hill, the second at number 3.
Let's go.
It is the house that Arnold built, the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Arnold's summer home is actually in western Pennsylvania, Latrobe Country Club. That's where he grew up. He came to Central Florida in the 1970s and fell in love with this piece of ground. He bought it, and he's grown it ever since, and now it is host to one of the premier stops on the PGA Tour. Big, strong golf course. You have to really be a good ball striker and generally one of the longer hitters to be successful around here.
Oh, yeah. Some work to do now.
Settles in over the putt. -1 in the early going. Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo back at the 4th hole here at Bay Hill. This is the first par 5 on the golf course. 561 yards. You thinking birdie here, Frank?
No, you certainly are. Perhaps even 3. This is almost ramrod straight, little hazard down the right side. But a good one, you can certainly get home for 2.
Second from an excellent lie. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie.
Beautiful.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in.
Digging in here.
Well, Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the
right
wind.
there.
This is never going to sit down.
Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it's a poor decision. But, well, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here.
It just blew his round right up.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Stays at 1 under with that par.
Dig in.
Now to the 5th hole. And off the tee, Frank, how do these fairway bunkers sort of factor into your mindset as you prepare to tee off?
Well, if you watch the pros play on the Arnold Palmer Invitational, you see 2 different strategies here. Just an iron off the tee, give yourself a full shot in, or, well, if you're a longer hitter, take it over that bunker on the left.
Oh, it's gonna fly.
Not on the fairway here. This could be a tough shot coming up next. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
I mean, this skill and that was sublime.
Just good hands coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Collects another birdie with that stroke and goes to 2 under. Frank, talk to us about the 6th hole.
I don't want to. It's too difficult.
Why not?
It's too hard. It's too difficult. John Daly made 18.
But that's not such a bad score. If you break it down, that's
Break it down for 1 hole. It
3
broke him
pars
down.
and an eagle.
You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Frank, this one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it, send it.
Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Frank, you always talk about it. Don't compound the mistakes. Well, here we are, another shot from the rough.
And this one no easier than the one he's just hit.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Really has it going now. Back-to-back birdies. Well, after that beast of a par 5, Frank, it is time to finesse one up on the green here at the par 3-7, just a little under 200 yards.
There's a big mound in the middle of the screen. The flag's above it, and then you've got to be really precise. If it's short of it, you can use that mound as a backstop.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way.
Way too much corner.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. These putts keep the round together. Nice par to remain 3 under. Let's move on to the 8th. And Frank, what's ahead here?
Big par 4, just over 450 yards. Ideally, you want to get it down by that bunker where it's nice and flat because that second shot, you know what's coming up.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Setting up for another approach, our featured golfer has continued that excellent play from earlier in the round.
Indeed, there's no better feeling in the world than when you know you're firing on all cylinders. Hitting fairways, second shot's just going straight at the flag. Right now, everything is working.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid.
Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
And he's made the green. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Rounding out the front nine here at Bay Hill, 474-yard par 4. Frank, you've played this hole before. Where are you lining up when you step onto the tee here?
There's an out of bounds all the way down the left side that you have to be cognizant of. But that bunker, 290 yards carries it. And yet again, another hole that favors the long hitter. I tell you, there's long and long. And that, with a little bit of breeze behind, it's long.
He rode the wind there to payday. He's going to have a good look coming up. Frank, you want to make the turn in style? We're here at the ninth, the approach shot, and what are we looking at?
Big green, one of the biggest on the golf course. This hole's changed a lot with equipment over the years, so long iron, even a mid iron for some people, to a very generous green. Just pitch it on the front third, and you'll be having a birdie putt here at 9.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
That's birdie, and that's just another example of how everything seems to be clicking today, especially on the greens.
Yeah, good green reading too. You've got to take your hat off to that. The line has been perfect, and the pace has matched it.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. This one will play a little bit longer. It's up the hill to that green. Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
But a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And he's made it onto the green now. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. No problem at all. Good putt, and stays at 4 under par. Now to the 11th with water left, bunkers on the right. Frank, what's the key here?
Well, too often people just look at the scorecard and they go, well, it's over 400 yards. I have to hit driver. You don't have to hit driver at 11. Something in the fairway, just short of that second bunker. And it sits up, 6 or a 7 iron.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now. Try to walk away with the par. Just a couple of feet. That is a solid par putt right there. Now to the par 5 12th. Frank, how good of a scoring opportunity is this?
Well, anytime you get a par 5 at Bay Hill, got to take advantage of it.
Headed for the bunker? A bit unfortunate. In the bunker, Frank.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what his bunker plays like.
Missed the fairway in the fairway bunker now.
It's not all gloom and doom, though. Lip isn't too high. A good swing here still shouldn't be a problem.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. He'll need to be strong with this.
Two-iron stinger.
Yet again in the bunker.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
I'll tell you what, Phil the Thrill, Phil Mickelson could not have done it any better. What a bunker shot. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. In for par, and we'll sit tight at 4 under.
Good grind.
Frank, the par 4 13th, relatively short, but not necessarily easy.
Yeah, stringent tee shot. A lot of people are tempted to take a bigger club off the tee. 300 yards runs out of the fairway, but really, what does that give you in?
Watch your shot.
Hazard?
Oh.
Maybe wet.
Blew up his round.
Frank, they threw him a life vest. He's back on dry land.
And I hope this time he swings, he doesn't have the water wings on.
Third shot now, after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for.
Oh, fuck.
He's going to have to find something, Frank, other than the rough.
Yeah, there's hitting it right and there's hitting it left, but when you've got to go out of both barrels, the game becomes hard.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side.
I mean, this skill and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. -3 now for the round. Frank, as we come to the 14th of par 3, what's ahead for the players?
Once again, another tough par 3 coming up. Narrow at the front. It gets a little wider the further you go up this green.
Come on.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aimed the club at that and made sure they followed through.
And he's putting for par now. Did the job right there. Now at the 15th, big dogleg right here. What's the best way to go, Frank?
Really down the left side. It's very tempting to try and hit it across that bunker, but not only do you have to carry the bunker, you've also got to carry those little shrubs down the right side. Normally you'd say that's a bad tee shot, but this is a pad approach.
No fairway here. This one in that rough. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in.
Rich, that was some shot out of the rough. I really didn't think he could even get that on the green.
Well, just to get it on the green, as you say, I think is a big win. Makes it right in the center. Back on the tee here at the 16th. Frank, lay it out for us. What's ahead on this hole?
Well, even though there's two bunkers, one on the left and one on the right, it's the shortest of the four par fives. You can almost take those out of play and have just a mid-iron in here. But we all know what's coming up.
Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that? That's a ginormous tee shot.
Frank, this is really one of the fun spots on the golf course. The second shot here to the par 5 16th.
It is. It's a cool vista when you're hitting that second shot across the lake. Another high-hanging second shot is really the way to play it. That flag on the left, you've got to make sure you take enough club to at least carry the front third of this green. Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
He went for the brief swim there, Frank. He's trying to stay dry now.
He is. Just trying to avoid water on the brain as well. This will take a good swing.
So this is his fourth shot after the last one found the water.
Yeah, it's not all over, but right now, too, he's staring down the barrel of a very bad hole.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone. And it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Pretty good shot right there. 3 under on the day. Always like this par 3, Frank. Par 3 17. Let me amend that. I like watching the best in the world play it because it can be daunting, especially with the pressure ratcheted up.
When they have the tournament on, this green is brick hard. A little bit downhill. That's about the only advantage you get.
Frank, where's this one headed?
Well, might just catch the left side of the green. on the dance floor, but it's going to be a long way away from the band.
Frank, not close, but not bad either.
Well, you can always make the odd 20-footer, and that's exactly how far they are away.
Yeah, go ahead and fill it up. Frank, now one of the signature holes here at Bay Hill, 18.
Holes got a little easier over the years with the new equipment. People getting it out there a little further, so you've got a shorter club in, but you've got to be wary of that run out on the right side. Oh, that's fine.
Playing it point to point, fairway off the tee, fairway on the second shot, and now a really good angle to attack. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie. Settles in over the putt. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace, it's hard to be critical of that.
There you go, 68 for the day. Frank, I have to say, I've been impressed by the level of golf today. Really came out here with a solid game plan and
Vicious wins, Billy.
Consequently, a very solid round. Continuing with that kind of play can certainly put you in the winner's seat.
Maybe a top 100. It's on now. Watch it now. What time is it? 1 o'clock now.